Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Ms. Bigger, roll call, please.
Harrington.
Here.
Perkins.
Here.
Musgrave. Here. Brandon.
Here.
Kinnaman.
Here.
Kyer.
Here.
Delaney.
Here, we have a quorum. Consent agenda. All items listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Village Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately immediately after consent agenda approval in its normal sequence on the regular agenda. What is the pleasure of council?
I'll make the motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Musgrave to approve as presented, support by Brandon, thank you. Ms. Bigger, roll call vote, please.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Kinnaman.
Yes.
Kyer.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Delaney.
Yes. Motion carries. I remembered community development, though. Public comment. Members of the public may address council once recognized by the chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes for items not on the agenda. Council may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. For items on the agenda, comments may be made after council discussion prior to council vote. Prior to addressing council, members of the public will please state their name and address for the record. Just a quick note on that, under new business, we have the consideration of the approval of Resolution 2023-034, adopting the Village of Holly Park Commission Master Plan, and consideration of the approval of Resolution 2023-035, allowing alcoholic beverages in Lakeside Park on July 30th, 2023. Anyone for public comment? Ms. Everly, I believe you were first.
Thank you very much. I'm Sherilyn Everly from 314 Hadley Street, and I don't mean to take anybody's thunder, but I just got done watching the hour and 14 minutes of the Development Committee meeting last night. And Mr. Kinnaman, you ran a very good meeting. I know I'm not supposed to talk to you. So Ryan, Mr. Kinnaman ran a very good meeting last night. It was a lot of information and stuff that came forward. And especially I want to thank Mr. Cullis. Timing might not have been good, but what you were all discussing was where we're going to go for the next village offices. And the three options were to go into the Sherman Middle School or build a new place at Cyclone Park, or the new option that Mr. Cullis brought forward was for the village to join with the township and have offices in the Dawson Tire that they just bought. And it sounds like an offer that's too good to be true. The expenses to the village would be basically whatever it costs for you to get into that building and have it work for you, and then pay them a lease. And I know one of the comments that was made, particularly by Mr. Walker, was that that arrangement would give the village no equity. But I found that ironic, since it was Mr. Walker's direction that caused us to not have any equity, have our building sold in the past. We do have some equity. But 9,500 square feet would work building-wise. It's 7.6 acres. It abuts the library, or could easily abut the library. There's room for a community center. It's a no-brainer. It's an investment in the community. Whatever money the village paid the township in the lease all goes back to us citizens anyway. So I really just wanted to say I was quite impressed with Mr. Cullis and Mr. Kinnaman, and you won't hear me say that very often. And then furthermore, there was just a couple of other things. Again, back to Mr. Kinnaman, one of the things that you did in running the meeting really well last night was that you insisted that there be community input, and not just online, and not just for 2 weeks, but for a considered, amount of time. And I'm going to quote you because you said a rushed decision would be misperceived by the community. We have a community that's good at expressing its opinion. Thank you. We've been saying that over and over, and I'm glad that you're listening. And then finally, I'm sorry that Ms. Musgrave is going to have to be away for a while, but the idea of compressing that whole process into 2 weeks was ill thought out. And if having another member on your committee was important, you got 4 other members that could have stepped up to fill that role. But I think the idea of slowing it down for a month, since we've only known it's been coming since the millage was passed, but I think slowing it down for a month and getting the community's input, because these are some big money numbers too, and if I still got 4 minutes, I just want to throw out. If we were to go to Sherman Middle School, we'd be looking at $415,000 minimum, and that's with the school doing the work, so that's going to be more. And these are what the consultants told us last night. Cyclone Park, taking that cheesy old building that's about ready to fall down, $722,000. We got streets that need to be fixed. We got seniors that need a place to meet. We got parks that need trees. We don't need another freaking building. We need to be with the township, and we need to be looking at the best offer that gives the best return to the community, not to the village, not to the township, but to we citizens who pay the bills. And I think I'm probably about up, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Everly.
And now I'm going to go do yoga at the beach.
Anyone else for public comment? Yes, Ms. Mattson.
Anna Mattson, 1509 Western Valley. With all the talks about a new building for the village or lease, whatever, I don't believe once we've talked about budget or how much money we actually have in the bank for it. Sorry if I missed it, but I don't recall a specific number actually being talked about, and that could tie our hands very easily. Like, are we looking at a mill rate increase if we don't have a lot of money? But I feel like budget should be the first priority to establish when looking at different options. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else for public comment? All right. Hearing none, seeing none. Our next order of business is a public hearing on the Parks Master Plan. And we do need a vote to go into public hearing, correct? Yes.
I'll make the motion to go into public hearing for the Parks Master Plan.
Motion by Kinnaman, support by Musgrave to enter into a public hearing regarding the Parks Master Plan. Ms. Bigger, roll call vote, please.
Brandon.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Kinnaman.
Yes.
Kyer.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Delaney.
Yes. Motion carries. We enter into the public hearing at 6:08 p.m.
So actually, Mr. Joe Hutchins, who is chair of the Parks Commission, is here tonight. He'll give just a brief introduction of, for the public hearing.
Welcome, Mr. Hutchins.
Good. The Park Commission has spent about the last year going through the 2015 master plan. We looked through it and we found out that it was about 80% boilerplate. So all we had to do was go through and update to 2023 the different items in here. Population, density, parks around us, everything else. It would cost, I checked with Jerry here, about 10 grand to have this done on the outside. And we had different park members take different leads on this stuff and take different things to update it. And that's how we come up with the new 2023 master plan. The master plan is used mainly a lot for DNR grants. You have to have this in place. So it took a while, we got it done. And also help with administration too, and a few other people. Is there any questions on this?
Has there been any major changes from previous master plan?
Mainly in population, other parks around us, what our state parks and everything else offers, and what people want to do in parks, recreation available to parks and recreation and stuff. And like I say, mainly population, not much of everything else changed much. It was mainly boilerplate. So we just updated the census and stuff like that. And it took a while to research it all, but it was, everybody volunteered and we got it done.
Any other questions for Mr. Hutchins?
Thank you to the Parks Commission and its administration for working on this too. Nice job.
And I really like this podium because I always wanted to do this. Who's the weakest link?
Goodbye.
Watching too much TV.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchins. Do we have a motion to enter out of?
But I would say if there's any public comment.
Oh, right. Is there any public comment to be had on the Parks Master Plan? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none.
I'll make the motion to close public hearing.
Support.
Motion by Kinnaman, support by Musgrave to close the public hearing. Ms. Bigger, roll call vote, please.
Brandon.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Kinnaman.
Yes.
Kyer.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Delaney.
Yes. Public hearing is closed at 6:12 p.m. Informational meeting, Downtown Development Authority. Mr. Klemp?
Good evening. Brian said I only have 3 minutes, but that's too bad. So as you probably know, every year, well, twice a year, the DDA has to do informational meetings according to Public Act 57. It's part of the requirements for the DDA. And basically what those are a summary of what the DDA has achieved through the last year and what we hope and what are some of our goals coming up in the next coming year. And so I like to do it near the beginning of our new fiscal year. I try to get it done during that time just so we can look back and see what we've accomplished, some of those things, and look forward and seeing some of the goals that we want to accomplish. We do that within the DDA by within our committees. I'm sure you know there are 4 committees that we work with within the DDA: the Economic Vitality, Organization, Promotion, and Organization. And what was the one I'm missing? Design. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't remember which ones I said. And design. And so within those 4 committees, we meet. We come up with goals within our district of what we want to accomplish within those committees. We make work plans, and then we present them back to the DDA board. And so I'm just going to give kind of a quick synopsis of those things. This is by far all of our achievements that we have done, or by far all of our goals either that we're going to reach within the next year. And I'll just go through each of them by each of those committees. And so the first is Economic Vitality Committee. Some of our achievements for that was we helped administer many grant opportunities through Main Street, Oakland County, and shared other grant opportunities through Business Forward for all of the businesses to take advantage of. And many of those times, I'm there available to help those businesses through that process. We worked on updating our building owners list and correcting information and making contact with those building owners, trying to build a relationship with them as we move forward with the DDA. And started developing an online portal through those business or those building owners on our website to kind of promote things that are up for rent or for sale, that people can know they could go to our site to be able to see what maybe is available within Holly. We started our own Holly DDA facade grant and provided free social media training to any of the businesses that wanted to participate. And we did that through Main Street as well. We made connections with Michigan Works and the Holly area schools and with designing an internship program with our schools where the school's business program will have a pool of students that would want to maybe get some work experience through our businesses in the DDA district. And through Michigan Works, they help to align those students with the businesses and also pay for their salary for an amount of time as well. We gave out many gift cards to shoppers that equaled several thousands of dollars for the businesses who chose to participate in our promotions like Ladies Weekend Out, loyalty punch cards, and our First Friday events. Some of our new goals for this year are working with the building owners more and sharing with them some of the trends that we are gaining from our market analysis and hoping to share those results with them so that they can help us to grow Holly in the way we want to see it grow and retaining and recruiting businesses that will help Holly overall. We're developing a business appreciation program to recognize businesses that go above and beyond in our community, and continue to update our website as a place where people can come to get information to start a business here in Holly, and be a place that if I'm looking to rent or looking to buy, that we know that the DDA is the place that they could start. And then we're kicking off a new marketplace in Oakland County that Holly businesses can take advantage of at a low cost, and it increases their online presence throughout all of Oakland County. It's basically the Main Street programs all working together to promote their businesses. For the organization committee, we supported many activities and events with our volunteer force throughout the year. We started our new market analysis research in preparation of writing a new vision statement and updating our transformation strategy that is required through National Main Street. We streamlined our volunteer recruitment process and updated our volunteer handbook and our yearly list of needed volunteers. And we continue to write many grants to help with the extra projects that we have within the DDA district that maybe our budget doesn't allow for, and accomplish things like moving and restoring the train depot, as well as help within the Battle Alley Social District. And we met with other organizations and how we can work together to promote Holly. And then some of our next year goals are to continue to grow that volunteer workforce and getting connected to our Main Street Holly, continue to work on our transformation strategy and vision planning. It's a long process and it takes a lot of work, and most of them are volunteers that are working and putting this into play for us, and continue to develop ways to bring in extra funds for those items within the DDA that we don't have the budgeted funds for. For the design committee, we help decorate the downtown in many different times throughout the year, different times of year, different celebrations. We've made significant progress in our depot move and made progress in our tree replacement in the downtown. We've added new Christmas lights, not just in the downtown, but also in Midtown Ganshaw Park, and we've continued that light program each year. We've planted new trees and flowers at the welcome signs, started plans for Ganshaw Park with the Village Parks Commission, started the historical marker project for our historical buildings, and started the creation of our wayfinding signs for Battle Alley and a kiosk for our social district. Some upcoming goals are that we plan to continue that tree planting project throughout the entire DDA district and implement the Ganshaw Park update that we're working with the parks on, adding more Christmas decorations, adding some things up on the north end for Christmas time, adding new public restrooms to the downtown area, continue with the depot, and look at opportunities for security cameras in our social district area, and adding those wayfinding signs, and then starting our replacement of items in the downtown, things that that have been there for 20 years, and starting that replacement process. Because with our budget, obviously, we can't just go and buy something to replace everything all at once. You kind of have to have a process or a plan to do that. And then for promotions, we've updated our website, the look, the ease, the use of it, to promote all aspects of Holly. And we've planned out the whole year in advance. We printed out our postcards before the end of the year so we could get those out. And the businesses use those like mad, give them out all the time to visitors, people in the town, so they know what all is going on. We had successful events with 2 ladies' weekends, First Friday events, and other different special events within the shops. We made contact with Visit Detroit, who came to Holly and did a tour of our businesses and did like a article report on that. We've met with Pure Michigan and also with the Visit Oakland County site to help promote Holly in a larger area, which has been one of our main goals since I came on board, is promoting Holly out further, letting people know that this is the place they can come to visit or to play and spend some time in. We printed brochures for the area campgrounds to bring people to Holly during their stay here. We did more promotion of Holly in general for our events on social media and in traditional print, and started making more plans for our strategies of promoting Holly as a destination place, for people to see this as the place that they want to come to either work, play, or live, and just seeing all the great benefits that are here in our town. And to partner with other groups to help promote our events in the town. Some of the main goals for the promotion committee are continuing to refine the website and connecting it to places that promote Holly as a whole, continue to work on promoting Holly as a destination place, and then also planning a new promotion video for Holly to showcase all that Holly has in each of the areas of the DDA district, and continue to plan, organize, and promote events that are happening in Holly to draw people into town and see all the services and businesses that we provide. And a new thing that we're working on with other main streets in our area to create and promote a regional tourism with those DDAs in our area, and just kind of help promote each other, thinking of the fact that maybe someone won't come just to Holly for a week, but maybe if they have a week, they might come to Holly, to Oxford, to Lake Orion, and travel within all of those areas and see what each of those different towns have to offer. And then finish our new business packet to have a better plan for the new businesses come in so they understand more of what is going on. And then working more along with the parks as well. Thank Joe for thanking me for doing that. The parks put that plan together, and I just brought that together and pieced it together for them. They had the public meeting, they did the surveys to collect that information from people within the village, to put that information together, but I just helped them put that together, and so I appreciate that. And the DDA works closely with the parks. Majority of the parks are in the DDA, and so it's a great partnership to have. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clem. Were there any questions or comments to be made on that? Okay.
It's pretty thorough. It's pretty thorough.
Thank you again, Mr. Clem, for all your hard work. There is no old business. Item number 1, under new business, consideration of the approval of Resolution 2023-034, adopting the Village of Holly Park Commission Master Plan. What is the pleasure of council?
I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 2023-034, adopting the Village of Holly Park Commission Master Plan.
I'll second.
Motion by Musgrave, support by Perkins, to adopt the Parks Commission Master Plan. Is there any council discussion desired on this item?
Yes, please. Can I ask, what role did administration, or what did the involvement look like with the Parks Master Plan?
So I would say that part was done by Nick from his position in the DDA. I mean, he pulled certain statistical information, from administration, but truly the bulk of the work was done by the Parks Commission as they split up, the various tasks within the plan, and then Nick final formatted the whole thing.
Thank you for that, and thank you to Nick. And did any administration have any input in regards to needs to amend, oversights, any improvements in the master plan, or what is your recommendation?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if you want to go through the master plan page by page, but as it talks about future endeavors or what projects in the future or what occurred in the past, those are strictly coordinated through Brian Clausen as Utilities Director and the Parks Liaison. As you know, Brian attends every Parks meeting and participates in those, giving recommendations, but also providing insight as to what function the village can play in the desires of the Parks Commission.
I kind of feel like that wasn't an answer, or I missed it. I'm sorry, did you have any recommendations as far as your opinion on whether or not to approve this?
Oh, no, I think the Parks Commission did a fine job. They had a public input period where they had an open house and the opportunity for citizens to bring forward information. They also conducted a survey, and they talked about it in, if not everyone, in several of their public meetings in which opportunity was given. I think that they've done a good job, and from our perspective, we would recommend approval.
Wonderful, thank you. And I know that some Parks meetings were really well attended. I hope that these ones in particular were as well. Good, thank you. Thank you for that.
Any other discussion desired by council?
Maybe a similar kind of question, but to Amber, to not, if it puts you too much on the spot to say that, but being the liaison for council, anything in this that particularly stands out to you that you're extra proud of, that you look forward to?
Well, I'm definitely proud of getting the new play structure at Lakeside. I think that has really improved, especially the community's views on our parks. But otherwise, it's just there's not much more that I can say about that. I know that we've done a lot of work as well at Waterworks, which I'm proud of, and we're going to continue doing that. It looks like we're going to have a private company come into there to do kayak launches, which will be great with the new launch there at Fish Lake Road. And that's about it.
Okay, good.
Anything else from council? Is there any public comment desired on this item? Hearing none, seeing none, we have a motion and support to adopt the Parks Commission Master Plan. Ms. Bigger, roll call vote, please.
Harrington.
Yes.
Kinnaman.
Yes.
Kyer.
Yes.
Perkin.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Dudley.
Yes. Motion carries. Item number 2 under new business, consideration of the approval of Resolution 2023-035 allowing alcoholic beverages in Lakeside Park on July 30th, 2023. Mr. Walker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This is a request from Moose Lodge on Broad Street. This is the same request that they've made the last couple of years. As you recall, there have been no problems or incidents with this. They monitor the area very well. They conform to all the MLCC requirements as far as the service of alcohol. And so really the only provision that they need is approval from the park, or to serve alcohol in the parks, because currently is prohibited by ordinance. And so based upon the past history of the Moose and their good standing, staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. What is the pleasure of council?
I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 2023-035, allowing alcoholic beverages in Lakeside Park on July 30th, 2023 for the Holly Moose Lodge picnic.
I have a second.
Motion by Musgrave, support by Kyer. Pretty sure she got it. Is there any discussion desired on this item? Is there any public comment desired on this item? Hearing none, seeing none. Ms. Bigger, roll call vote, please.
Kinnaman.
Yes.
Kyer.
Yes.
Perkin.
Yes.
Musgrave.
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Harrington.
Yes.
Delaney.
Yes. Motion carries. Reports. Mr. Walker.
Yes, thank you. In the council packet, you have my written report, and I'll briefly highlight those items for those who don't have the report in front of them. The first, of course, is the annual 4th of July fireworks event that we just went through. It was a great success. Appreciate all the volunteers and all those who supported, particularly our business community who supported this. So this is the 10th or 11th year running that due to that support, we have not utilized tax dollars in order to purchase fireworks. While it could be permissible, I think it's better. It's a better community event, I think, if we provide it ourselves. So through our business partners, as well as the citizens who helped us at the event and volunteered, and this also pays for the holidays event in September, went very well. You also see in the report that we received informal notice from State Representative Mike Mueller that approximately $100,000 has been earmarked for the village of Holly to be used for safety and security by the way of fencing and maybe some signage at Falk Road, former landfill. And so we are happy to hear that. We have not received written confirmation of that yet, so we don't count that into our budget at this time until we receive that. But since we received the phone call, we're pretty happy about that, and we look forward to that. The next thing that is not in the report, because it occurred after I wrote the report, was that Clerk Treasurer Bigger and I have met with WODA, which is the West Oakland Transportation Authority, and NODA, which is the North Oakland Transportation Authority, about merging our senior transportation with their service. And so at first blush you might think that, well, what are we going to lose by doing this? The answer is absolutely nothing. In fact, we'll be gaining a huge benefit for the community through this. And we're able to do this possible merger through funds that were gained from the transportation millage that passed countywide. Whether you as individual voters or we as a community supported that millage or not, it passed. And a substantial amount of money is coming from the Holly community, or this north end, including Groveland, Rose Township, Holly Township, and the village, to the county. And so they are offering some of that money back up to these two other transportation providers to enhance service. So what that would mean for the village is this. Currently, we provide transportation to senior disabled in a 10-mile radius, which basically takes in Fenton, Grand Blanc, and a little bit of Clarkston. So we have the medical facility at Genesis Hospital. We have the emergency room and some doctor's offices at the McLaren Hospital on Sashaval Road, right off I-75. So it just barely hits that. And then there's a few dialysis centers. Dialysis currently is our larger portion of the ridership. And so that occurs in Grand Blanc and Fenton. Under a partnership with either WODA or NODA, we would have the benefit of being able to use their current area of service. And so basically it would go all the way from Flint, from the Cancer Institute in Flint, McLaren Hospital in Flint, all the way as far as Novi. And so if you think about the number of hospitals, medical facilities, shopping facilities, or opportunities that that brings in, it's huge. The cost to the riders would be very nominal, and it would be a door-to-door type service, so it's not a fixed line service. And so really, for our ridership, it's a home run in that they get all this enhanced service, not the additional surcharge. And the hours are also from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., where currently our hours basically are the earliest ride is picked up at 9 o'clock, and the last ride is 2 o'clock. so that the drivers can return back in. They typically get in between 4 and 4:30 by the time they make their round trip. But those are the service hours. So now they'll have this additional time. So we're in the throes now of coordinating meetings with our other partners, because in the village of Holly, we coordinate the transportation for Holly Township, Rose Township, and part of Groveland Township. So our staff, under Clerk Treasurer Bigger's direction, coordinates all the incoming phone calls to schedule those rides, as well as sending them out to the drivers. And then the required reporting back to SMART. So all of that will be moving out of the village office. It'll be moving to a central dispatch for one of those two services, and more than likely in the next year or two, they think that those services will merge their dispatch into one larger dispatch center, and transportation rides will be sent out from that center to all the communities in Oakland County. But that's where it's heading. I didn't want you to hear about it through the grapevine. It's pretty exciting stuff. It's going to be great for the community. It's going to be great for the staff in the village office. It's going to relieve a lot of work, and they can concentrate on doing other things that they have. And just one thing before I close. So Miss Everly, she is correct in that I was the catalyst to move the village office from the downtown to the school. The reason was we were in a building that was really, in essence, a commercial building. It was 10,600 square feet for 6 employees and provided zero tax base to the village. The operating cost for that building was about $43,000 per year by the time you put in utilities and insurance and maintenance and all those type of things. We were able to sell that building downtown, put in a business that is tax generating for the community, as well as move into the schools for about $1,100 per month. And so at that time it was a no-brainer. I think it was the right decision by council. I think what's coming up is she talked about the future move of the village, and there are options, which are a great thing. And council will have some options to choose from. I mean, it'll be interesting, you know, as Mr. Kinnaman put it yesterday, to have that public input, and let's see what the community has to say. I think it'll be valuable information for the council. You know, is it a situation where paying rent to somebody else is the right move? Maybe. Is it investing in your own building that you already have and into the park at Cyclone Park? Is that the right move? Or into Sherman Middle School? So there are 3 viable options. Any one of them could work, but I just wanted to let you know the reason why we did move initially from the downtown. And so I think it was the right move. If I had to do it all over again today, I would recommend the exact same move for those reasons I stated. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Walker. Ms. Bigger, anything to add to your written report?
Just comment on what Councilmember Kyer said. Actually, at the 4th of July event, numerous people came up to me and said how impressed they were with the new play structure and how nice it was. And I walked by it a lot during that day, and it was always filled. Kids had a blast all day long with it, and parents, I had 10 or 12 parents came up and told me how wonderful it was, and that how grateful they were that we put in a new structure.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Board and commission updates and council comments. Ms. Kyer.
Yeah, so we met last week. After we went through our budget talks here, then we all felt like it was Christmas Day at our meeting, coming up with different ideas. So we'll be bringing those to you guys. We've got, I'm sure, you know, it's just like anything else. You've got a long list of things that you want, but you got to kind of whittle those down and to importance. We talked about holidays, which we still need volunteers for. We need volunteers for everything. And that's about it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kinnaman.
Planning Commission met and approved another Airbnb in town, which is above Cupcakes and Kisses. And then we also approved a new site plan for Cloud Cannabis, which is in the old dealership building. They have determined that the building is not salvageable, and so it will be demolished and a new building built, completely new. And so we approved that site plan and process at our meeting. And if you missed it, in tonight's meeting, there was a community development meeting last night. Where we did talk about the possibilities that are before us for relocation, and the township brought before us a third option, and we will be touring that site on Friday, as we toured the other two sites in the past. And then, as was stated, a public display and surveys will be created, and that will be available. Our plan is to have that revealed at the August council meeting, and that will be available for view and comment then as well in the village offices area until we have a meeting at the end of August to review those comments and make a decision on a recommendation that we would bring before council for the move. So that would come in September to you. As a Chamber of Commerce, a couple of things coming up. I have left cards out in the entryway of things that are happening. One of the big things that's coming up is sidewalk sales will be the last weekend of July, as well as community rummage sales. If you are planning a rummage sale in the community, go on the Chamber's website, hollyareachamber.com, and you can actually type in your address, and it'll populate in the list so that people can know places to find the garage sales as well. And the businesses downtown have the opportunity to place items outdoors on the sidewalk, which by ordinance is not allowed except for the special event that we, as the chamber, create. Next week we have two really big events. Our annual golf outing happens, and I do still have a few spots if you know anybody who likes to golf. And Thursday will be our second concerts in the park with Glen Cora is the name of the band, and they are Irish Celtic style. And then Blues Brews and Barbecue is the first Saturday in August, and then later in October we have our Dixie Byway Car Show.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Kinnaman.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
As far as the dispensary goes, do we have a time frame on when they're going to be demoing the building?
We do not. They were before us like just a week or two ago to have the site plan approved, and now they're in the RFP process to get their bids from contractors.
That building's been sitting there for a long time.
Yep.
So they have delivered to us their environmental reports for both asbestos and lead, which typically are long-term items. So they have that work done already.
Right.
Because during their purchase, and then additionally, when they were looking at rehabilitation, they were going to be required. So that work is done. So really, it should move along a little faster than we would expect, but it's been a long time already.
Yeah.
Madam President Pro Tem.
I wanted to clarify a comment that Ms. Everly made earlier. She pointed out that one of George's goals with his new building for the township is to have it kind of butt right up to the library. And she had said that it was presented to her as simple. there's 2 properties in between the library and the property that he purchased. He will not be able to purchase those properties in full. They have running businesses. But if the 2 were rezoned and he could purchase those, that could happen. So I just wanted to point out that this isn't as simple as it was presented to us today as the library board president. It has not been presented to the library yet. I just met with George a couple of days ago, so we will be discussing this as one of our options as we're currently devising our strategic plan anyway, so the timing there is great. Moving on, as a representative of the American Legion Auxiliary, we have a Patriots Ball coming up September 16th, black tie affair, ball gowns, military, the public is welcome. You can check out our venue. It's been beautifully updated, and we rent it, so rent it for your special occasions. Purchase scene tickets. I'm hoping to have them up on the American Legion website by this weekend, so keep checking back in there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What date was that in September?
16th.
16th? Thank you.
Mr. Perkins.
HTC doesn't meet until Thursday. Fireworks show was fantastic. Other than that, I have nothing.
All right. Thank you, sir. Ms. Musgrave.
Richard stole my thunder, but we had our community development meeting last night, and I'm looking forward to the tour that we get to see on Friday. And our meeting is on August 29th when we compile the information. So that's exciting news to look forward to. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Harrington.
And High did not meet in July, so I have nothing to report from them.
All right. Anything else at all from council or staff? All right. Our next regular meeting is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. Thank you very much, everyone. We are adjourned.